Now, in terms of diet, I guess I'll ask it the same way because I could ask you what you do, but maybe I'm sure it'd be similar to ask you what you do and ask you what you would recommend to somebody else for food and what they're eating. But maybe you could break that down a little bit. If I said, hey, what should I be eating to grow muscle, to get bigger? What kind of would be your response to that?
Well, there's a lot of misunderstanding about protein, of course. In my opinion, protein is way overrated. In my opinion, it's probably the least important component of the diet, despite everything that is being said. It's very important, but it's the least important in terms of what should you focus on. Mainly, you should focus on calories because that's what muscles use. They don't use protein. They don't use protein to build to move muscles. They use protein to build it later on, but the quantity of protein needed for that is minimal. So if you have a diet that comprises enough calories and it's varied in terms of types of foods, then you're always going to have the protein, probably more than you need. The other important thing is to eat a lot of vegetables because of its vitamins, minerals, phytochemicals, all kinds of antioxidants, and that's what's going to keep you healthy and going to keep your muscles from falling apart at the first stress or situation where you can't deal with life in general. You have exams or you have to move or things like that. So your muscles are going to be able to handle it better. Your body is not going to fall sick. And you know what happens when you're sick, right?
Yeah, you don't lift.
You don't lift for one, but you lose weight immediately.
Oh yeah.
That's a given. So if you're not sick, you're not going to lose weight for that reason. So, in my opinion, the importance of food is mostly caloric intake, and making sure that the food you have are not processed. So, I understand people have taste buds. Yeah, that's a problem, and they're attracted to certain things that are sweet or fatty or whatever, and they're going to give in to the temptation. Well, fine, but know that there's a price to pay, and if you're consistent in your diet and you want to be better at what you do weight-wise, then you're going to have to uh, minimize those foods to the least amount possible. So I'm assuming you're going to have fried foods once in a while. You're going to have cookies, of course, no egg there. But you're going to have all kinds of things that you're going to want because it's tasty. But at the end of the day, you're going to pay the price. So when I say not processed food, it's going to be legumes, fruit, vegetables, grain, nuts, of course, leaves and roots. Basically, whatever nature gives you, that's what you could have. And after that, you're going to decide uh, how much of processed food you're going to have, weekly or daily if you want. But that's up to you.
Yeah. Now, I just want to touch on that for 1 second, the aspect of wheat, because I think I used you as an example back a little while back, and I tagged you in it on Facebook because people were getting down on gluten and wheat on how it makes you fat, and I took a picture of you, looking pretty ripped, and I think you said at the time that when that picture was taken, you were eating about a pound or more of wheat per day, and now you eat a little less. You're probably more a pound per week or something.
It's not wheat, it's bread. So bread is about 70% or so wheat, something like that. In any case, yes, I used to eat a lot of bread. Never bothered me. I always kept fit and what's what they call it, vascular, I guess. Yeah, no, very little fat. It doesn't bother me. I stopped bread for a while, not completely, but there was a lot of talk about gluten and so on and so forth. I wanted to try, see if I would feel anything different, if I would feel better. So from eating close to 2 pounds a day of bread, I went down to 2 pounds a week. And didn't do any, there was no difference for me. So I'm not back to the quantity of bread I was eating, but I enjoy bread and I don't see a problem with bread. Now there's this talk lately by scientists saying that we made a mistake. The so-called sensitivity to gluten does not exist. Apparently they checked the results and they saw that people were reacting to either placebo or gluten in the same way when they knew that they thought it was gluten. So apparently they were connecting the way they felt to the gluten to the action of gluten in their digestive system. So I don't know. That's what scientists said. So we're all wrong about gluten sensitivity. Celiac people, of course, have to keep away from gluten. That's a given. But I think there's too much emphasis on the supposed harm that gluten does to us.
Yeah, I agree. I have two more questions for you.
I'm here.
What is
can you speak up a bit?
Yeah, what are your favorite foods? Like, just name a couple of your favorite foods that you like. Maybe something that normal, like a daily food, and maybe something. Do you have any cheat foods you like to have every now and then?
Brown rice. Well, I love the foods I eat. When I eat a lot of food, then I love it. It doesn't. I think I've been gifted with this lack of search for taste. I don't care. So to me, food is food, and I could probably do fine if it wasn't tasty, but I like the taste of rice. I'm fine with rice. I like tahini because I eat it daily. But I don't have things I really go crazy for. So that's me.
All right.
That's an advantage, I have to say, because it keeps me away from crap.
Sounds good. Now, the last question I have is over at the vegan bodybuilding and fitness page on Facebook. I usually like to check in there and see what everybody's up to, and there's a lot of people that are really into like supplements. They're taking this protein powder, and they're taking this like testosterone booster, and they're taking all these different pills and powders and that kind of stuff. Do you have any viewpoints on any of those types of things?
I have viewpoints on everything.
Well, any you care to share?
Yeah. Listen, I can't speak for everyone. From what I've seen, because I've managed the gym for a while, supplements are pretty much useless. I can see creatine doing some good. From my experience, my experience with myself and with other people, I would say that's probably the best supplement ever. I have stopped taking protein supplements 20 some years ago, maybe more. And that's it. So, and I've seen people taking protein supplements. If you don't work out, if you don't put up the work, if you don't put up the effort, protein is not going to help. And even if you do, I don't think that's the protein. That's just the calories, the extra calories you put in your body. I don't see, since I really believe, I am convinced that protein is really not an issue, then there's no need for protein supplements. Now, there are some supplements that make you go crazy a bit on the weights, I think that you pay the price later on. And I've seen that people using like No Explode or Emo Rage, if you've heard of them. That's just something that pushes you to your limits at that moment, but then you have to crash afterwards. And I think that beyond that, uh, you're probably paying more for it. So maybe in a competition when you go compete something, you need that for that particular day, that's fine. But I've seen people using that daily, and that's not good.
Yeah, I agree. Well, thanks. I really appreciate you doing the
That's
interview.
it.
That's it. That's it, man.